Last year, the Independent Communications Authority granted licenses to Top TV to broadcast 3 porn channels. Now, this was met with much opposition, particularly by 3 justice bodies, including Doctors for Life. Last week, the Western Cape High Court upheld their challenge, which gives them an opportunity to produce evidence on the harmful effects of pornography. I'm joined over Skype by Dr. van Eerden to explain what this court ruling means. Doctor, thanks for joining us. Please, can you just give us an idea, first of all, of what this ruling means for your organization and South Africans as a whole?
Well, in the first place, I think it's placed the case on a big loudhailer so that the rest of the country become aware of the material that we as doctors have available to present to the court connection with the damage, the disastrous damage that pornography caused to the brain. And so I think it's something that's been piling up. There's been mountains of conclusive evidence in medicine that's been piling up, and the public were to a large extent unaware of that. So we are very happy that at least this is becoming known to the public. And then as far as the case is concerned, it means that we'll have an opportunity where we can, in a decent way and a thorough way, present all the scientific evidence to ICAS in a proper hearing.
So the case isn't necessarily done and dusted. I mean, was the ruling last week, it just went against Top TV and ICASA, I mean, against their application. Can you just explain in layman's terms what all of this means?
Yeah, you see, we got bogged down with a technical point. Our main point joining the case is to be able to provide the medical evidence that we have to court so that the government can take that into consideration when making laws and applying laws.
Is this purely scientific evidence you guys are claiming? I mean, is there any sort of religious undercurrent to this? Because I know in the past there has been. It's been very much, the church is against this kind of, free viewing. And I mean, is this infringing any kind of human rights issues?
No, this is pure science. That's why we joined separate in the case. We didn't join the other 2 parties. We are purely from a scientific point of view. And I think as far as the human rights side of things is concerned, the pornographers always quote the right to freedom of speech. But there is another right, and that is the right of minors to be protected against exposure to pornography. Especially the new information that we have is very powerful about the immature brain of minors and the extent of damage that does to the immature brain of minors, which is much worse than that of an adult. And so we believe that minors have a constitutional right to be protected against exposure to pornography.
What evidence is there of a link? I mean, how do they prove that there is a link between pornography and, like you say, violence, sexual crimes, etc.?
The basic science that we are quoting is there's been, for many years in the field of behavior science, there's been signs that pornography is addictive and severely addictive. But now, lately, when I say lately, the last 20 years, we've been getting scientific studies on a neurobiological level that proves that pornography is addictive. And it's shown in cellular parts of the brain, which you can see microscopically, but it's also macroscopically obvious because the brain shrinks. And it's funny enough, but the part of the brain that shrinks is the part of our brain there with which we do calculations. That's the prefrontal cortex. We do calculations we make moral judgments, and we exert self-control. So if that part of the brain shrinks, then a person loses self-control to a certain extent, and that plays a role in violence against women and children. But also these people become compulsive. They want to keep doing something even though there's no logical reason for it. They become impulsive because just whatever comes to their mind, they quickly want to do it. And these signs, and they have inappropriate reactions to different situations. Now, for many years, we've always known that this exists with people on heroin and cocaine, who's been taking it for a long time and long enough for that part of the brain to shrink. Now we've been able to identify it microscopically also in the brains of people who are addicted to porn. And so in that way, to a large extent, the ability of a person to think reasonably is affected by it. And it's a physical thing that you can physically see.